Nigeria is going to have some superpowers, like superheroes, because I'm going to go into Yoruba bush, like the forest, and I'm going to scare every akala bird I see. Hey. So the movie we're going to talk about today is Anikulapo. Yes. And before I talk about this movie, I'm going to talk about my expectation because guy, I was actually getting a different like having a different expectations because from the trailer, from the short clips I saw on Instagram, I was expecting a movie deep rooted in Yoruba culture with this kind of mystical powers. It's not supposed to be just an ordinary story with just few moral lessons you can get in primary school, stuff like that. This movie is directed by Kunle and it features Kunle Remi, Bimbo Ademoye, Sola, Sobowale, other cast. In Hollywood, we are doing well for ourselves, like actually, because from Blood Sisters, our cinematography is like getting better day by day because you see they actually paid detailed attention to the setting, the costume, and everything is top notch. It's about how Yoruba people treat their dead. Back then, they do not bury the dead. They just drop them in a sacred forest where a mystical bird, they call it Akala bird, yeah. It comes and you see this bird, very red, crimson red eyes, smoky, like this black smoke, wings and all of that. And just, it comes, it deems you worthy of being resurrected or it will usher you to the afterlife. On a particular day, the corpse of a guy named Saro was, laid, it was thrown in the forest, and the bird, Akala bird, flew down to, prep into the death of this young man. And he resurrected the man and was like seeing through him to know how he died. Before Sarah died, he was an Aso Efi weaver. He weaves very, very nice Aso Efi materials. And he is also a traveler, he wanders from places to try to pitch his tent somewhere that would benefit him because it was sold to slavery once upon a time in his life. He found favor, particularly in this lady. Her name is Awa Room, played by Sola Sobowale. So this lady she's much older than him, yeah, and she has a thing for young guys now. This sugar mommy kind of thing. She gave him money, helped him start up this is weaving business that I was into, and Sarah was so successful that he was able to gain access to the king's palace to supply them as well as materials. On this particular day, went to the palace. He saw the last queen who was being maltreated in the palace because she was not able to give birth. Now this barren witch kind of vibe. Arolake, that's the last queen. It was not at first sight because the thing was mutual. That's how they began to have an affair. Like this guy have mind. He put his chest in his front and he's sleeping with the king's wife. Eee! Hey! So when they caught this guy, they beat him to death. That's how he found himself in the forest where the Akala bird was to determine his fate. So after the bird saw all this, the bird was like, I beg, you do not deserve to live. It was about to just, make him go back to his sleep. And Arolake, who was with him in the forest, scared this bird away and took its power. And that's how these guys, their story changed after they wandered so much in the forest. They came to a particular setting where they were welcomed, and that's how they began to do magic. Like they began to, raise the dead. And because of Sarah's greed, it landed him to very, very deep trouble that I do not want to say, that you have to watch this movie yourself and discover. Sarah was so greedy, it was so promiscuous, it was just everything negative. I mean, the guy was just so confused. Like, and it was rude. God, like, Sarah was so rude. If just watch this movie, let me not spoil it for you. Now let's go to the controversial part about this movie. People keep talking about the sex scene and all of that, the nudity. Like, It's not what, it's unnecessary. So here is my own opinion, okay? So you know we're doing this critique together. You do yours in the comment section and I'll do well to reply. Thank you. Okay, so if it were movies like bad comments, there is this one, Glamour Girls, like if it's a movies like that, that this scene is being, you know, initiated, like it will actually, you know, make more sense, because the storytelling with that kind of nudity and sex scene, like it will actually follow. But you're giving us a typical Yoruba movie, Yoruba folktale with some kind of mystical powers, and the next thing, I just think they are just, I won't say it's not, this one is not confusion, for the fact that we're just doing a little bit here, a little bit there, it's like just the jack of all trade and master of none. Because this to me is not, it's not appropriate. Like, okay, is it, some people say it's because he saw the boobs and like what made him mad. Like, no, I beg, because this is not the first sex scene. So why do you think nudity was just okay to just put it there and that was it? Do you get? If the one that our room did with Sarah, and it was, they'll be like, oh, they're actually trying to do this, you get? But it was just one scene, and what's the need? I beg, there is no need. I don't see the importance of our room, a character. I mean, she was just this influential woman that she was like, you can't tell me what to do, and the next thing you are begging. Like, how did she move from that woman to this woman? If they had gone straight to where this guy is just a weaver, found favor with the queen, happy with the king and his household, and before you know it, he just got into an illicit affair, it would be better. It would have just been straightforward, other than just spending 2 hours and then we're just rolling around. And also I want to ask, I just want to know this. How will a mystical bird, like a bird with power, this bird was being scared away by memota, and not just by memota, with stick. So if you carry gun follow this bird, how the bird go take run? This thing is surprising. Like, how, if you take away this power from the mystical bird, what happens to the bird? This thing is confusing. For you to just, the bird just disappeared throughout the movie and then just appeared at the end. There was no search for the queen. Was she actually banished, or, you know, what's her punishment? Was she supposed to die, or was she supposed to be banished? It's a good movie, you know, it's a nice movie that tells us what being greedy, promiscuous, rude and all of that will land us into. There are some parts I don't feel the emotion. Like, the thing was just there. It wasn't like they were just speaking Yoruba, because it's a Yoruba movie. There was no emotion, there was no, if you've seen Brother Life, you know what I'm talking about. Like, there was emotion in the movie, but this one was just bare of emotion in some parts, just speaking I don't know, but I think I would just give the movie a 7. And it's too long. Nigeria, I don't know why we just keep making our scene unnecessarily long. That I want to know what you feel about this movie. Do you like Anikulapo? See you guys on my next video, and I'm going to introduce you to a very super series, Selena. Okay, the part 1 is out, the part 2 is out, and we're anticipating the part 3 at Udwak in Song TV. So you guys will check that out, and I will give you a brief about what Selena is about. See you guys next week. Thanks for your support, and please do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. Love you.